All right, welcome back. Episode 2 of Recliner Sports Talk. My name is Nick.
Brandon.
All right, thank God you remembered your name there.
I almost forgot.
We are back. We actually changed it up a little bit this week. We make adjustments. We heard our viewers' comments. Okay, it needed to be a little bit shorter.
All the chit-chatting.
I appreciate it. I don't know if Brandon I appreciate it. Okay. Appreciate some of our top fans out there. Thank you for reaching out. We do agree it was a little bit long. We talked about it after. So we took out the picks, made a separate video for the picks. So if you want the picks, please look at our week 13 picks for NFL. And then we also had our college picks in there. But today we're going to kind of intro with a sports talk about some news that's up, recent sporting news. And then we're going to hop right into our secondary and specialist for the 2000 to 2020 all-time team. Okay? So, kind of start things off, something that everybody's been covering. I just wanted to talk about it real briefly, okay? Because we're trying to be an equal YouTube show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Sarah Fuller, obviously, great thing there, Vanderbilt. I really hope it wasn't a publicity stunt. Okay, obviously the coach got fired after it, so some people can make that argument.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got fired. So here's the thing. I think it's awesome. Okay, girls do kick. If you look at high school football throughout the country, I'm not saying that it's every year. I'm not saying that it's every school. But it does happen, okay? There is, women are getting more and more into football. There's coaches. There's refs.
Refs, yeah.
So again, it's awesome to see just to some diversity. If she was the best person for the job, that's awesome.
I agree.
And here's the thing. Something that they did not bring up as much. So she really hasn't played. She's a senior. She has not played. Senior on the soccer team, goalie. She has not played till this year, really. I want to say it was 18 minutes up until this year she played. She's got 9 starts. She's 7-2, and she has 28 saves on the year. So that's something a lot of people aren't talking about. Okay, that's awesome to see. And again, just kind of trying to shout that out. I think that's awesome that she got that opportunity. Again, I love special teams, so it's even better. I wish Vanderbilt would have scored.
I was about to say.
So she could have scored.
They couldn't even get in field goal range.
Again, also another thing, let her kick it off deep. I think they did that on purpose. They tried to do the little pooch kick. Cool, I understand strategy. Let her kick it deep. Let her kick it deep. If
you have 0 wins, who cares?
If your coverage team can't stop the guy from getting to her, then he might as well score it anyway, right? If you're relying on your kicker to be the tackler every time, let it be. Let her kick it deep. There's a video out there on the internet of her doing a clearing kick, and she crushes it all the way across the field. I would have loved to see a kickoff there from her. All right, and some other news. Before we get into kind of college basketball, NBA, something that's obviously, again, another big thing that's going around. We figured we'd give our take on it. COVID in sports. So, Brandon, I'm going to let you start with this.
Well, I mean, we saw with the NFL, the Ravens debacle, the Broncos debacle. It's affecting everyone. I mean, college football, what? Big Ten? Yeah. 2 weeks ago, I think they had 4 games canceled.
Yeah, so it was a lot.
8 teams could not play in one conference. You know, Wisconsin still is...
SEC, too.
Yeah, I know. Clemson couldn't play versus Florida State. Florida State hasn't played in 3 weeks. Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It's affecting everyone. College basketball, Duke couldn't even play their home opener. They couldn't play. It's affecting everyone. High school, I'll let you talk about the high school football.
Yeah, high school and just Delaware athletics, okay? There's been at least one game affected. Delaware's not a big state, everybody. No. At least one just football game. I don't know about field hockey, soccer, cross country. I don't know about those sports, volleyball. But football, at least one game each week's been canceled because of COVID, and it's usually been more than one. So again, it's not just affecting the big states, it's affecting the small states as well. And again, it's the, like the Ravens, right? They had all these tests come back, same with the Broncos, but all these other guys can play. That's awesome. They do a lot more testing than they do at the high school level.
High school's not going to be like that.
Because you can't afford it, right? And you can't tell each kid, all right, go get a test. Well, are they getting the ride? Are they getting it all set up through their parents?
And when they get tested, they could get it between getting tested, going home. Who knows what their home life is? At least in the NFL, you can kind of control things.
But I think the best situation right now is what the NBA is doing with the bubble, right? Yeah. Now, guess what? They're not doing it. Doc Rivers, okay, obviously, I'm going to talk a lot of Sixers, big Sixers guy right here. He's even saying his concerns. Listen, I'm a Sixers fan. Embiid's out for every which reason all the time. If this man gets COVID, I wouldn't be surprised. And it's not because he's doing irresponsible things. It just seems like stuff like that always happens to him. And in the NBA, guess what? These guys are between 19 and 35, okay? 19 and 35. They're going to do what they want. Let's be honest. Now, for the better of the team, yes, I will go to the practice facility. I will come home. But if you just stop at the grocery store, if you stop to get food, you have the opportunity to get COVID. And it's a real-life thing for everybody. But obviously, sports is an entertainment. It's not a necessity. But it brings kind of a takeaway from the reality we are in the world. But guess what? Even that thing that takes us away from reality, we're seeing it right there with the COVID.
A crazy thing you didn't bring up, NFL, you have 11 guys offense, 11 guys defense. Basketball, usually you like your 5, 6 to 7 guys. One guy gets COVID, your best player, you're down 20 points, and usually your bench guys can't make that up. So basketball is going to be affected.
This might be the year of the G League.
It could be. And transitioning into that, I think this is the year we're going to see if they do have the March Madness tournament.
There might have to be a bubble for that, honestly, to work.
Anyone can win. College basketball, the past 2 years, college basketball is my favorite sport. Let me say that first. College basketball is my favorite sport. I enjoy it so much. I love it. The past 2 seasons, this season included, last year, it's not good. It is bad basketball. I've watched so many games the past 2 years. I had to turn half of them off. And I love basketball. It stinks to say that. I thought it was just me. So I did a little research yesterday. Did you know last year yielded the lowest three-point shooting percentage in NCAA history? It's never been below 34%. It was 33.47%. And remember, college, the three-point line in college is 20 feet 9 inches. It's only 1 foot back from 19.9, what it was in 2008. What is high school?
I'm not sure the
18
exact
feet.
I want to say probably right.
Anyway, it's closer to the high school three-point line than it is the NBA. And these guys are still shooting 33.47%. I don't know. If you watch the games, these kids, they're super athletic. I'd say they're probably more athletic than I've seen, at least like JJ Redick's generation. That's when I really started to watch college basketball, like mid-2000s, 2004 to about now. I was old enough to actually understand everything. These guys, they seem faster now. Everyone seems faster, more athletic. They're doing crazier things at the rim. Issue is, I don't think they are working on fundamentals as much, hence the shooting.
You sound like a dad.
No, I think these teams are relying heavily on these like hoop mixtape type dunks, and they're not passing the ball like they should be. And I think I'm seeing more isolation basketball in college than I've ever seen before. I don't like it. Look at the teams that have won the national championship. Last year, no one won, so I can't say. But UVA 2 years ago, last champion. What did they have? They had great upperclassmen who, yes, they weren't good enough for the NBA, but they were great college basketball players. Kyle Guy, DeAndre Hunter. I know he was a top 5 pick, but he was better in college than with the Hawks. Diakite. Good teams. The Duke teams that have won, the Villanova teams that have won, you had Villanova, you had DiVincenzo, Brunson, you had Bridges. These guys, when you stay 2 to 3 years and you have chemistry with each other, and the coach has chemistry, and they know what they're doing, and the mature factor. I mean, when you're 18 years old and you're a big man on campus out of high school, you need to be humble a little bit. The teams that win are these teams that have they might have 1 or 2 elite freshmen, and they have great college guys. Duke, when they won the 2 championships the past 10 years? Yeah, 10 years. You had Jahlil Okafor, Grayson Allen, Justice Winslow, Tyus Jones, but you also had Emil Jefferson, you had Matt Jones, you had Quinn Cook. You had a mix of guys, of good seniors and juniors with those elite freshmen. I think that's what you need to do, and I think these guys need to stop trying to go to the NBA. I think you should stay in college. I really do. I think some guys are making mistakes going.
All right, well, here's my counter argument. One, I think if you went to the Elks Club and gave that spiel, someone's buying you a nice old cold Coors Light for that, all right? The old men would love that conversation. Athletic is in, everybody. Do you see what all these teams in the NFL,
Curry,
baseball, even basketball, all right? Guys that can play multiple positions and are athletic, that is in. You're telling me Calipari's not going to say yes to the #1 recruit in the country?
I'm not saying that.
But that's what you are saying, okay? I understand the three-point percentage is great. He's a big three-point guy. I'm a Sixers guy. All right, little soft spot for the three-point. Seth Curry, Danny Green, going to help us out with that. But listen, this is where basketball is going. I think that the trend was for the three-pointer, right? But if you look at the team like the Lakers, I want to say they had the least amount of made threes in the playoffs. But listen, exactly. When you have LeBron and AD, they're tall, athletic guys that get to the rim. At the end of the day in basketball, that works, everybody, because we saw Houston should have beat Golden State 2 years ago with Chris Paul and James Harden, but they missed, 27 straight threes?
Oh, yeah, that was the worst shooting performance.
But that's what can happen. Guess what is a higher percentage shot? The dunk. The layup. Okay? Moving the ball. Again, some old dude might be buying me a cold beer at the Elks Club now for saying, let's be more efficient, get to the rack. I'm all for it. But going back to the college football or basketball here, listen to this. Duke, Villanova, Virginia, Kansas, Kentucky, all the kind of that blue blood the past couple years, right? And Virginia, obviously, not really blue blood, but the other ones, yeah, they have one.
Shout out Ralph Sampson, too. They've had good players.
Lost to UMBC as well. Shout out UMBC. Okay, listen. They all have a loss. Kentucky has 2. You know, is the Kentucky Flame out? Is Calipari out? I don't know. Still early. When you have these freshmen, and he's kind of shown this. He's had freshmen that have struggled early, and then he's kind of rallied it in the end. Again, it goes off what you said. It goes off what you said because they're not mixed well. But again, can you imagine telling a kid that came from some shit is now getting offered millions of dollars to play NBA basketball? I understand it's great to stay there, but it's hard to tell that kid, I think you really benefit for staying. When you have someone saying, here's $1 million, let's go play NBA basketball. And that's just kind of my take. Now, I 100% agree with you. Is it great? Should they stay? Yes, but it is from the standpoint of these kids. Listen, I didn't come from a tough background. I would also take $1 million at 19, okay? It'd be tough to turn down.
But the elite talent, these guys that are being recruited as top 10 recruits, they're not top 10 guys, though. Last year, there was zero elite talent in college basketball. Zero elite talent. You didn't have a Zion Williamson. You didn't have an RJ.
But that's one out of, you're going to get
I know it's 1 year, whatever, but I think the trend is going to become that way where...
Shout out Maxie from Kentucky. Going to be a Sixer, going to be a great Sixer.
No, but seriously, these guys, they, the hoop mixtape generation, I think social media...
But hoop mixtape's been around for 10 to 12 years.
But I'll go off a little bit on a tangent here. My sister is a high school lacrosse coach, but she said she teaches at a school in Virginia. They have, I think, 2,500 kids, which is a pretty big school for enrollment purposes. They're having trouble fielding JV teams.
That's the same all
that's what I mean. We had cuts for our middle school baseball team. We actually had cuts for our 7th and 8th grade. That was our middle school, our baseball team. I know we're only, 6-7 years out of high school, but I think there really is a change. There's been a change of how people perceive sports. My sister, she said, people just, they just don't want to play sports anymore. These kids don't want to play sports.
And I don't think it's only that. We wanted this to be short, but I think we're hitting some good points here. I think a big thing there, and I know we're going all over the place going for this, but guess what? I really do think it's a good conversation, and I like having this conversation. I really think a big thing here is, too, that it's always been, some of these kids are told they're the best. They're the best.
But they're not.
They're the best. And, oh my gosh, well, if you went to this school, you could start right away. Who's telling you this? Okay, the lost art, and this is why I talked about Sarah Fuller kind of being that senior. I love seeing that the person that sits, and then they get their opportunity
Mac
and
Jones,
make the most of
Alabama.
it. Okay, yeah. Look, guess what? Good things happen to those guys, right? And girls that wait that time, wait their turn. But our generation is so now
yeah.
that it's. Well, why do I want to play JV this
Look
year?
at Mac McClung for Georgetown.
Yeah, he's in
Texas Tech. Transfer right away.
But it's not just him. It's all this. And again, it's not just. I say AAU, but I'm talking travel, every sport you can imagine. And when we were growing up, it was if you were good enough to play, you played. Now it's everybody's got a team. You could be the third string point guard on the JV
team,
the JV basketball team, and you're starting for your AAU team. That sucks.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's the thing. I think everybody wants that instant now. I need to be starting now. If I'm not in varsity by a freshman, sophomore, I'm gone. Same with basketball. If I'm not starting right away, I'm gone. Well, guess what? There's been a lot of pro athletes that have waited their turn. Joe Burrow, you guys heard of him? First overall pick. He not only was at that school, listen, he waited out, 2-3 years at Ohio State before transferring, got beat out more than once. Guess what? I understand that. And guess what? He didn't transfer to some bum school. He transferred to LSU. Guess what? He tried to wait those 3 years, finally took it. All right, I'm done. Same with Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts wins a championship.
I respect the hell out
That's
of
what I'm
Jalen
saying.
Hurts.
But those guys
waited.
It wasn't my freshman year, boom, I'm bouncing. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know Jalen Hurts started as freshman, won a lot of games. But I'm just saying some good examples of these guys that wait. Guess what? It does pan out a lot of times, all right? Good college athletics, not everybody's going pro.
No.
Okay? And the same
absolutely not.
Same for high
that's
school.
my point.
Same
There's
for
60
high school.
draft picks in the NBA.
And same for high school. Not every kid's going to college, but it's just kind of the experience, being part of that team culture, getting that free education that it's all about. And again, there's me on my little soapbox there. But you're right. It's college basketball big time and a lot of other sports.
Who
as well.
wouldn't want to be a big time athlete on a college campus? I mean, come on. Why would you want? You are on Duke's basketball team and you're maybe a second round pick after your freshman season. Why would you leave?
Yeah, you're right. But again, some people just want that instant gratification, like I said. So
money. I wouldn't.
We could go on and on for that. So last thing we want to talk about before we get into our all-time team, some NBA news last night. We are recording this on Thursday this week. Okay, so last night was Wednesday. Russell Westbrook for John Wall in a first-round pick.
Oh my gosh!
I can already kind of tell where Brandon's going with this. I don't think it's a bad trade.
Oh my god!
And I say that because Russ wasn't going to be happy. John Wall wasn't going to be happy. Now, John Wall is coming off injury, but if John Wall can get back to where he was, I understand he's not the most amazing shooter, but he can shoot.
He's coming off an Achilles injury.
Guess what John Wall is going to be willing to do? He's going to be willing to be second.
That's all he can do.
But
pass the ball to Harden.
He's fine with that. And then when he gets his opportunity, they're going to look. Houston's going to have a good lineup. Am I going to say it's going to be the best in the West? No. It's going to be second the best? Probably not. But they're going to be competitive. I want to say more competitive than they were with Russ. Okay,
I think so.
And here's the thing:
will actually. Washington,
obviously, weird year. You're not getting fans, but Russ is going to get attention to DC, right? And that's when John Wall was in his prime. He was getting attention. Attention.
Yeah.
People thrived off that. I think Washington's obviously had some sports success with the Capitals, the Nationals. Washington football team's getting some news. Not all great, but getting some
players
news.
though defensively.
And they're moving up in the like I said, that upward trend of becoming good. I think Washington will thrive off this. They still have some picks, and guess what? They got some good draft picks. You know what I mean? Now, again, I don't really know what they got. They got the foreign guy this year, right?
The Israeli guy. Yeah. I don't know.
And again, I don't know much about him. But
I
I think it just brings excitement to an organization that was there. Injuries kind of derailed that. And they have Bradley Beal, too. So, it depends on who's a very good player when he's healthy and has those extra guys.
30 points per game last year.
Yeah, so, I think it's a good move for each in that perspective. Okay, now will the talent pay off and all that? I don't know.
I actually like it for Houston. The points you made.
Yeah.
Washington giving up a first round pick and John Wall. That contract is brutal.
And
It's
can't
actually
Russ
the
be gone
same
after a
as
year?
Westbrook. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same as Westbrook, that contract, and you're throwing in a first-round pick, which might be a top.
But
That's going to be a lottery pick.
With Russ, they're not going to be a lottery pick. I think they're going to be that fighting for the 8th seed in the East type team. And again, that doesn't mean they make
But
it.
if they don't make it, they're borderline lottery. Remember, more teams make the NBA playoffs than miss it. If you don't make the playoffs, you are a lottery team.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a Westbrook fan. But I think he will play better in Washington than he did in Houston. James Harden is a ball hog. He's a cancer. I'll go out and say it. I just don't like James Harden. I don't like his style of basketball. He's good. I don't like his style of basketball. So, naturally, I'm going to hate on Houston.
But here, I think I don't think he's a cancer. I think he's
he
been
is.
around some toxic players.
I think he's toxic. I don't know the guy.
Good 30
and
for 30
if you're
out
watching
there.
James Harden, I'll have a 3-point shooting competition against you.
James Harden, don't waste your time. Also, I'm on your side. Good 30 for 30 on him. I really have a bias for guys that have good documentaries out there about him. KD, people like to hate on him. I love him. There's a good documentary on them about his whole entourage and him. I love the show Entourage, so that's why I really think it's cool. But yeah, I think James Harden, you're getting a bad rap for what's been around you.
No, I don't like him. I don't like Westbrook either. I don't like his
I
personality.
don't like Westbrook.
I hate Westbrook. I hate Harden. Those two did not work. We saw it. We
Everybody
literally
knew it was
watched it.
gonna
They
happen.
did not work. Houston was smart to get rid of him. Washington was dumb to give up what they did for him. I love Brad Beal. I think that Rory, Hercham.
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
butcher his
we
name.
know you know.
I'm sorry, but I like the young talent that they have in the front court. This Israeli guy, apparently he's a shooter. We'll see. I mean, if he's a shooter, you surround him with Brad Beal now and Westbrook, they got a team.
And they've got big guys too.
They got a
so.
team. Their front court. That's what I mean. They got a team. So we'll see. I don't like the move for Washington still. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Well, let's see. Soon enough, right? December 22nd, first games there. All right. And we are about to get into our all-time teams. All right, everybody. We are finishing up our 2000 to 2020 all-time team. Now, we are on the defense, and then we'll go into our specialists. Again, this isn't like we're saying these are the best players of all time in these positions. We know they're not all of them. Some of them, yes. But we're saying if we were to create our own team for the past 20 years, these are the guys we would pick to try to win a football game, okay? And we pick coaches, offense. If you guys go to episode 1, you can see us talking about that. But this is, again, defense, special teams. We already covered offense and our coach. So, Brandon, you can start
I'm picking my team this week off of his offense as well.
And I did the same. I did the same, basing mine off what you picked for offense.
So, with that being said, he's got a big boy team on the offensive end. I'm having a big boy team on the defensive end.
Big boy. Put your big boy pants on.
My secondary, I'm going to say all 5 of my secondary guys. We're doing 11-man defense and an extra guy in the secondary and extra D lineman, just to clarify. So my corner, I'll start off with I'm having 2 corners, 3 safeties. My cornerbacks are Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman. Now, I know it's kind of recency bias. I know it's 2000 to 2020. I could have had Woodson in there. It was close. Charles Woodson, very good. I'm going with the guy who has a nickname that is called Revis Island. 7 Pro Bowls in 11 years. First team All-Pro 4 times. Super Bowl champion. And if you just watch the game, no one threw to him. That's what you want as a cornerback in the NFL. He's phenomenal. He's very good. Darrelle Revis in his prime was a lockdown corner. You can't say that about a lot of guys. I mean, there are very, very few guys who are truly lockdown cornerbacks. I love Revis. I love his attitude. I know he was on the Jets, and the Patriots, to be fair. Very good. He's my corner. My other corner is Richard Sherman. Big corner. I'm going with a big team. I think Sherman's 6'2",
Yes, he is.
He's a big corner, smart guy. I mean, yes, he went to Stanford, but even if he didn't go to Stanford, he's still a very smart guy. He leads the league in interceptions since 2011 with 35. He's a ball hawk, and he can cover 5 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros. With Revis and Sherman as my outside cornerbacks, I don't care if it's Randy Moss out there. I think in their prime, Revis and Sherman can lock them up, and those are my 2 corners. Safety, this is where it gets fun for me. There are a lot of so many good safeties from 2000 to 2020. My first safety, God, so good. Ed Reed, 5-team All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year in 2004 as a safety. You know how hard it is to win the Player of the Year as a safety? Doesn't happen. He has the most career interception return yards. He has 61 interceptions. He's 7th all time. He's a ball hawk, a true ball hawk. He's so good. I'll talk later, obviously. I have 2 safeties that I want who are big hitters, but I want that one safety who I can trust as a center fielder. Ed Reed might be one of the best, probably the best. Well, I can't say that, but since I've watched football, he's the best ball hawking safety. My second safety, Troy Polamalu. I know he's a hard hitter. He's a great locker room guy, phenomenal locker room guy. 5-time Pro Bowler. He's also a big play guy. It's not like he can't intercept the ball. Ed Reed was a specialist at intercepting the ball. Polamalu can do both. With those 2 back there, and my third safety, who very underrated. I think this guy is tremendously underrated. Brian Dawkins. I hate the Eagles, but this guy.
Why is he underrated?
People don't talk about him that much. They don't.
I guess maybe because we're local, but
yeah, I mean, we live in Philly Sports Talk Radio City. I mean, Brian Dawkins was the hardest hitter. I mean, if you see on YouTube, like you see compilations of like the hardest hits in the NFL, you'll see Brian Dawkins a few times. I mean, I want that ball hawking safety. I want in Ed Reed. I want that Polamalu can do both, and then I want that guy who's just a dog. And Brian Dawkins is that guy.
All right, so very similar, okay? I'm actually going to say one of my favorite defensive players. I'm going to say second favorite, okay? Probably top 1A, 1B. Like Brandon said, Ed Reed. Ed Reed is the best safety of all time. If we want to talk about free safety, he is the best free safety of all time. A guy that had great ball skills, was explosive. And not only was he going to go track down the ball like Mike Trout out there, Willie Mays, okay? He was also going to lay the wood, too, when he had to. Great speech at Miami, halftime speech when he's hurt.
Yeah.
Again, leader on that team. Hey, guess what? He has 2 100-yard touchdown
107, 106.
Pretty impressive. Obviously, Super Bowl champ, like Brennan said, Defensive Player of the Year. 3-time interception champ as well throughout his career. Hall of Famer, 64 interceptions, by the way. That's going to be my free safety. Sorry, I forgot to say at the beginning. I'm going a 4-3 front with a cover 2 look. Okay, that's what I'm going for. So he's going to be my free. I want my strong safety rolling down in the box, kind of messing with a guy like Mahomes. Okay, Mahomes never seen a team like this. Brady's played against all these guys, so I'm going to tell you that right now. He'll be okay. Mahomes, never seen guys like this. I'm also going to go for my strong safety as Troy Polamalu, okay? Can you imagine bringing him into the box? Okay, bring him in the box. Guess what? I can also blitz him. You know, he's jumped over the line, everybody, and gotten a sack. Jumped over the center like he's trying to block a field goal, sacked the quarterback. Like you said, great team guy, great hair, okay? Respect the hair, you know, for those that lack in that department. Me, all right? 32 career interceptions. Again, so 96 interceptions between my 2 safeties. Not bad. Again, Polamalu, that Steelers defense, okay? 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2010 Defense Player of the Year. So again, like Brandon said, safety, kind of tough to win Defense Player of the Year. We got 2 Defense Player of the Years there on there. And then lastly, the last one that I had similar to Brandon was Darrell Revis. If you have something called Revis Island, come on, got to put it on there. Brandon gave the stats. He's played against the big guys. He's played against the small, fast guys. He is a Super Bowl champ with New England. He's going to get it done. Rex Ryan, that crazy mofo, played for him as well. But my next corner, okay, I also was thinking Richard Sherman's smart. But how do you pass up on Charles Woodson?
I know. I
talk about
I brought it up.
Listen,
I brought
man,
it up. Okay?
Listen, I would almost say, right, because you say Deion Sanders, one of the more athletic corners of all time, right? Imagine Deion Sanders, for those that don't know Charles Woodson, imagine Deion Sanders physically, okay? Imagine if Deion Sanders laid the wood. Give me Charles Woodson. Oh, guess what?
That was tough for me.
He played offense too. Oh, was he good in college, Brandon?
Michigan.
Yeah, he was pretty good in college too, okay? Played receiver in the NFL too in different times, okay? Big parts of NFL history, okay? He was the 1998 Defense Rookie of the Year, the 2009 Defensive Player of the Year.
Really? Wow.
Not only that,
far apart.
You guys ever heard of the Tuck Rule?
Tom Brady.
Charles Woodson on the hit there. Tuck Rule, okay? Not only that, Heisman Trophy winner. Played offense, like I said, 6'1", 210. There's another tall, big guy.
210 is a corner?
Guess what? He didn't even get to play in the Super Bowl that he won. Okay, he got hurt in the first quarter against the Steelers when Green Bay won it.
I didn't know.
And not only that, he played in the Super Bowl against Tampa when Tampa won it. So again, this guy has a lot of big game experience.
Yep. John Gruden.
And he's going to get it done. Now, for my extra guys, so if I was to go like a cover 4 look, a 3rd and long look, I want to put, he's going to have someone in the slot like an Odell, like he said. I want someone athletic, good corner, all around just a solid guy. He's been in the league for a couple years now. And again, kind of that, if you want to say who's a stable right now in the NFL that's been there for a long time, Patrick Peterson, 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. He's an athlete. He returns punts. Again, I want him covering the slot if I need that extra guy. Okay, I'm going that cover 2 look. And again, I just think he'd be a nice complement to everybody else I have. And that's it for secondary. So
linebackers.
You want to start linebackers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I only have 3 linebackers, but this was a tough decision. I mean, there were so many great linebackers. I think what I noticed are from the era of 2000 to 2010, there are a lot more
different type of linebacker.
Defensive players more so than offensive. So like when I was doing my offensive list, I have a lot of guys who are still playing right now. Like that 20 and Randy Moss was still playing in 2010. Like from 2010 to was he? No, it was close. I think 2009 was his last year.
No, I think he played 2010.
2010. Well, anyway, 2010 to 2020, like I had a lot of guys in that time. For offense at the past 10 years has been pretty good. But I think if we're talking defense, these guys, early 2000s, they were different animals. Ray Lewis. We all know Ray Lewis. Did he murder the guy? I don't know. I'll leave that aside. His stats and his football play on the field, he deserves to be my number 1 linebacker. All-time solo tackles. Listen to this. 1, Ray Lewis, 1,568. 2, the guy, London Fletcher, shout out Washington, 1,384. He's 2nd place all time. Ray Lewis has, we do the math, almost 200 more tackles than him. That's 2 seasons worth of tackles. Goes without saying, the guy's a winner. He's got 2 Super Bowls in 2000.
Very far apart.
In 2000 and 2012, that 49ers game. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Not only is it difficult to win, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, this guy has won 2. That's very hard to do. He has a Super Bowl MVP, 10 Pro Bowls, 8 first-team All-Pros. He's a beast. Ray Lewis. With Ed Reed, I'm pairing those 2 together. Come on now. Derek Brooks, number 2. This guy, he's good. He's third all-time in tackles. I said the top two, Ray Lewis, London Fletcher. Derek Brooks, third all-time. 11 Pro Bowls. He has 25 interceptions as a linebacker. That's a lot. Richard Sherman is 31. He's a cornerback. I know Derek Brooks played a little longer, but Derek Brooks, he's the best coverage linebacker that we've had in the past 20 years. And he's very good in the rush defense, and he can blitz the quarterback. He's the all-around package. I want him next to Ray Lewis. And then my third, I'm going to run. Derek Brooks can even play outside linebacker a little bit, but I want, these big middle linebacker type guys. And that's why I'm going with Brian Urlacher. He played free safety at New Mexico. That in college, he played free safety. He's athletic. You can have him in coverage. You can have Ray Lewis in coverage. You can have Derek Brooks in coverage. But they also are very good against the run, and they can get after the quarterback. They can be all over the field. They're fast, and they're good. He was the Rookie of the Year. He only played 9 seasons. I didn't realize he didn't play that long. But he did win a Player of the Year, 6 Pro Bowls, and was All-Pro. So those are my linebackers.
All right, I thought I was going to be able to get through your linebackers without having the same. We did have one the same. So the first one I'm going to do, Brian Urlacher. Like you said, he did play some safety in college. He was a safety in high school, but he had that transition and did play linebacker for them. He's 4-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, 2000 Defensive Rookie of the Year, and 05 Defensive Player of the Year. He had 117 tackles in a year. That's a lot of tackles.
That's
Brandon.
a lot.
Also, guess what? Have you guys heard of Lovie Smith? Lovie Smith.
Yeah,
so he's played 2 different types of defense. Lovie Smith came in. He was a cover 2 guy. Guess what defense I'm running? Cover 2. He's going to do fine with that. He is 6'4", 258. So not only tall, a lot of range. He's going to, like you said, stuff that run there. He had 1,361 career combination of tackles. So that's assists. And so that's a lot of tackles, people. This guy's that tough nose. And some people would say he's the best linebacker the Bears have ever had, and that's a huge compliment. Huge compliment. Saying that, listen, man.
Dickie Butkus?
Listen, Brian Urlacher, again, like you said, wanting to cover. He's going to be dropping back in coverage, very long arms. Mahomes ain't going to be able to hit those crosses with him back there. Next, I'm going to go with a guy. Now, I talked about Ed Reed. Ed Reed's probably one of my favorite players to ever watch. But this guy was one of my favorite defensive players ever. Career was ended short very recently. Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
Okay? Luke Kuechly's one of the smartest. I'll say that again. One of the smartest linebackers of all time. Boston College. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If you listen to some interviews, guys like Jameis Winston, which I'm sure is not that hard, he said he was calling out 60% of plays when they played them. Okay? A guy that lived in the film room. All right, obviously injuries, concussions, ended his career early. Hey, guess what? He's only 29 right now. He's only 29. Listen, he's retired. He's only 29. Guess what? He's been a 5-time All-Pro guy, 7-time Pro Bowler, 2012 Rookie Defense Player of the Year, and 2013 Defense Player of the Year. He's retired. He's 29 right now, today. Okay? This guy, if injuries didn't happen, we'd be saying one of the best linebackers ever.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. Dude flew around on the field, and he's a great coverage guy. Not only is he going to smack you in the mouth and run, you have athletic guys on your team. This guy can go cover him, but he's also going to go punch you in the mouth there. Yeah. And he's also 6'3", 240, everybody. So again,
I didn't know he was that big.
Packing some weight out there. And then lastly, Mr. 99 Club, Madden, Bobby Wagner. Okay, we want to talk about some good Seahawks defense. Now, he's only 6 foot, but he's 242.
Over Ray Lewis?
Huh? Yes, I'm saying that because, again, Ray Lewis, stout against the run, but you have a very athletic team. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff out of the backfield. I like that we both base it off each other's teams. Wagner can do that, okay? Hey, do you know how many playoff games he's played?
With the Seahawks,
15
a lot.
playoff games, okay? He's had 5 All-Pros, 6 Pro Bowlers, and 1 Super Bowl champ. He's kind of that
Defensive Player of the Year?
No, he's that anchor for that Legion of Boom, as they say there, okay? He's been solid every year he's been in the league. He was a 2010 All-Decade team. He didn't even play the whole decade. Again, give me a guy that's been in today's offense. Again, kind of like you're saying with Christian McCaffrey. Okay, obviously I didn't agree with that, but and you don't have to agree with the Wagner pick. I'm just saying he's played in today's game.
I get your reasoning, though.
And again, I understand Ray Lewis, but I think by the end of the day, Wagner's going to be one of the best linebackers of the era, period.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he could be on the 2020s All-Decade team here because he's still probably going to have 4 to 5 good more
It doesn't
years
help the guys surrounding him in Seattle are not very good right now. So
No, but it doesn't. But he's still racking up all the stats.
Well, yeah, yeah.
All right, do you want me to start D-line or you start?
Oh, you can go. I don't know.
All right. Now, this was very fun, everybody. This was very difficult. I sat there and watched a lot of film. Okay, a lot of film on guys. Obviously, been following football. This is our era. That's why we're doing this. 2020, this is our era as 24 and 25-year-olds. Okay, that's why we really like it. We get excited about it because when we're talking about 20 years to our kids, these are going to be the guys we talk about.
Yep.
Okay, back in my day, that's going to be us right there. First off, I don't know how you couldn't pick this guy. No, Brandon's probably got this guy. J.J. Watt, okay? J.J. Watt, 5-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 100 sacks, okay?
Yeah.
He's 31.
Did he just get his 100 sack on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so. So he's 6'5", 290, everybody. Guess what? Give me 2014 J.J. Watt on this line. You better hope you're running the other way.
Very good pick.
Listen,
very good pick.
Aaron Rodgers, you committed robbery. I know it wasn't you. I know it's the people that voted. You have his MVP trophy sitting at your crib right now. The man played offense that year. Man played defense that year. Had touchdowns in both. Was the most dominant player in the NFL, and he was a defensive end. Okay, that's why offensive tackles get paid so much. Because you got to block guys like that. Okay. Well, guess what? If I got 2014 J.J. Watt on one side, give me talk show host, beautiful smile, Brandon's boy. I knew we'd have him on there.
How can you
That's
not?
why I wanted to go first. Michael Strahan. Not only is he going to be a personality guy, he's going to be a captain on the team. Hey, everybody, guess what? Give me 2001 Michael Strahan, 22 and a half sacks. And I believe J.J. Watt in 2014 had 20 and a half.
22 and a half is the most all time.
Okay, which way you running? You better be running between the tackles. I don't know if you're going to hear the rest of these guys. Anyway, a Hall of Famer, 4-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 01 Defensive Player of the Year, and he's a Super Bowl champ. 141 and a half sacks. I want to say it was, I don't know if it was Julius Peppers or what. He is not the leader of all time. But I'm going to still take 01 Michael Strahan, J.J. Watt in 2014. Give me those two. Oh, my gosh. I hope you don't like running the ball too much, Brandon. I know you got Mahomes.
I'm not going to be running. You think McCaffrey's running? McCaffrey's not running against those guys.
All right. Now next, a defensive tackle. The best in the game right now, Aaron Donald.
I mean, yeah.
All right. This man could probably bench press a Big Mac truck. Oh, by the way, he's not that tall. I believe he's around that 6'1".
6'1".
Okay.
Maybe.
Anyway, he's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 2014 Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And guess what? He's 29 years old, everybody.
Yeah.
He has not been playing for that long. I want to say it's been 5-6 years? Okay. Aaron Donald is a specimen of a human being.
Beyond.
And guess what? I know we have these ginormous O-linemen. Guess what? Aaron Donald's going to be quicker than every single one.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm going to tell you this. He's going to take a guy huge inside, take that one arm up inside, and he's going to make something work. You're going to be dropping back a lot. Guess what? I'm going to have all these guys rushing after you. But guess what? Just like I did on the offensive side with Pouncey, I kind of need, excuse my language, Mom, if you hear me, I'm sorry. Give me a dickhead on that defense, right? You need that asshole on the defense that's going to just be up there, being nasty, game in, game out. You know who I'm probably going to say right here. Give me the Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, my God. Really?
He has been one of the staples in the NFL at D-tackle in his career.
Mr. Stomp.
2010. Listen, he's a smart guy. Nebraska education, okay? But listen, he's not going to do that in 3rd and long. We just get a stop. He's not going to do the stomp. He's going to do it at the right time. Give me that guy that's going to be there. Mr. Consistent. Okay,
He had penalties against
5-time Pro Bowl, three-time All-Pro. He's on the All-Decade team. Hey, guess what, Brandon? He was a rookie 2010. He's only missed 2 games. In 10 years, he's missed 2 games. That's giving me a guy game in, game out, that's there, ready to kick some ass. I'm taking the Ndamukong Suh. Oh, he's 6'4", 313.
He's a big dude.
Hey, now we go goal line package. Goal line package. I got to bring in some meat, everybody. I'm going to bring in a fan favorite, a man that loves some food. Give me Vince Wilfork. Okay?
Oh!
Put him on the center. Okay?
That's a big man.
That's a big man. Guess what? He's 6'2", 325. I know that doesn't sound
He's more
huge,
than 325,
but listen,
I'll tell you that.
He's going to be smaller. Okay, and by smaller, I mean he's going to be 6'2". He's going to be able to fire off low on the ball. He's a big boy. He's a 5-time All-Pro. He's a 1-time All-Pro. 2-time Super Bowl champ. Do you know who he played most of his career with?
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, my head coach on my team. Guess what? I think he's going to be a great personality guy. The locker room's going to love him. He's going to buy into his role. Hey, Andy has some good grilling commercials if you guys haven't seen there. He's going to be my goal line package. Again, just think he's a funny dude. He's going to be good for the locker room morale, and he's going to be he's a pro. He's a pro. I'm not going to say he's the best ever. He's a pro. I think he would do good on my team for that goal line stop there.
All right, you done?
Yep.
All right. Well, I have 3 edge guys and 2 tackles. I'll start off with the guy you already mentioned. My boy, Mr. New York Giant himself, Michael Strahan. He's 6th all-time in sacks. 22.5 in 1 season. I mean, that's crazy. Most guys, if you get to 100 sacks, you're shooing for the Hall of Fame. He had almost a quarter of that in 1 season. 6th all-time. Guess who you already mentioned this guy, but you didn't pick him. Guess who I'm taking on the edge next to Strahan? 4th all-time in sacks, 159.5. Julius Peppers. UNC's had great defensive guys. Lawrence Taylor, everybody. Julius Peppers, everyone. 6'7", 287. This guy's built exactly like Zion. And guess what? He runs a 4.6. He is 290 pounds almost. He's 287 pounds, close to 290, and he's running a 4.6, everyone. Do you know how fast that is? I don't think I can run a 5.2 right now. He's running a 4.6. I want him getting after the quarterback. I mean, clearly you can get after the quarterback. 4th all-time. Strahan, Peppers, and my other guy, I have Ed Reed, I have Ray Lewis. Guess who else is on the edge? Terrell Suggs, Michigan State, Baltimore Raven, 8th all-time in sacks. Sneaky, great career. I did not know he was 8th all-time in sacks. Come on. Ravens, that early 2000 Ravens defense. Give me as many guys as I can get. They're good. My 2 tackles, he already said it, Aaron Donald. It goes without saying. He's fast, strong. He has 82 sacks already. He is 29 years old. He has 10 sacks this year. We still have 5 games left. He had 20.5 sacks in 2018. He's an interior defensive lineman. That's a record. You're a football guy. I'm sure a lot of these guys know. Edge, you have more space to get around to get to the quarterback. When you're on the inside, you have the center and the guard right next to you.
When you're on the edge too, right? You can always go outside,
That's what I
work
mean.
inside. There's no outside or inside. You're going through a guy.
And then another guy.
Yeah.
You get double team.
If you guys ever get bored, watch some Aaron Donald highlights. Guess what? He's 6 foot, 6'1". He's usually the smaller guy on the entire front.
Those guys are 6'5".
And he's the best player on the entire front.
And he's stronger than them.
100%.
And he weighs 30 to 40 pounds less. And he big boys these guys.
Pittsburgh Panthers.
These men are 350 pounds. Aaron Donald goes through them like they're Swiss cheese. My other guy.
Hard to lead off.
So, yeah. My other tackle, fan favorite, locker room guy. Although, I didn't know this, but apparently he wasn't a good locker room guy. We thought he was. He's like a funny guy. Warren Sapp.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick him.
Apparently, he was not a fun dude. But he looks like he would just be a funny guy. He was always cheesing during interviews. And he's funny post post NFL career, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
That's
apparently
good.
he was not a nice guy.
That's why I didn't pick him. Yeah.
96.5 sacks at D tackle, pretty damn impressive. I'm taking the Hall of Famer at tackle next to Aaron Donald, next to Strahan Suggs, and I can't even remember. And Julius Peppers, who's 4th all time in sacks. I'm Mr. Sack. That's my team, and I'll go on to the special teams.
Yeah, one guy I wanted to say I left off, and this was the hardest. Zach Canloro Warner. Listen, this was probably one of the hardest guys to leave off because I love this guy too. But because of the defense I wanted to play, I had to leave Von Miller off. But Von Miller, if I went 5 front, just like I said, we based it off each other's team. He doesn't cover guys.
No, he doesn't.
I want to say if I had to put him against other DNs, I'd take those DNs. But if I was to go 5 front and he wasn't such a passing type of guy, I would have taken Von Miller 100%. I just want to put it out there. That was the hardest pick to leave off my all-time team.
All right, my kicker, I'm pretty sure you're going to have the same guy. Adam Vinatieri. He's proven in crunch time. I mean, that's all that matters when you're a kicker. I don't care how good you are in the regular season. If you're great in the playoffs, I want you. You can miss every kick in the regular season. If you make it when it counts, I want you. He had 3 field goals in 3 separate Super Bowls in crunch time. We all can't forget about that snow kick versus Oakland for the Patriots, and I think that was 2001, maybe 2002. One of those years. No, it was 2001 because Oakland was in the Super Bowl in 2002. So Rich Gannon, University of Delaware. Always got to bring it up. Rich Gannon. He has the most points in NFL history with 2,673. I want Vinatieri. He's a winner. I mean, hard to say anything negative about the guy. I mean, obviously, he didn't have a good year last year, but he's 45 years old. But I'm not going to go there. My punter, Shane Leckler. Now, I don't know a whole lot about punting. I know you're supposed to get it inside the 20 and not have touchbacks. That's about it. Nick's a punter over here. He would know more than me. But essentially, that's what my knowledge is based on. And Leckler holds the best career yards per punt. And it's 47.6 yards. Net, I think that's net. If I'm not mistaken.
That's including returns and all that stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that includes touchbacks against that.
Yep.
47.6 is a lot. I mean, you're flipping the field every time. He's got a killer leg. I remember him with Oakland. I think he was on Houston. I could be wrong.
He was.
But that's my punter. I can't really talk a lot about this because I don't really have knowledge. But
all right. So I also want Shane Leckler. Shout out Ray Guy, Punting Academy. Okay, punting camps. Good stuff. Shout out Rick Sang if you ever see this here. Shane Leckler, again, 7-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro. He's on the 2000s All-Decade team, and he's a 47.6 yards per punt type guy. Okay, Brandon yawning over here. Special teams is important, people. You win special teams. You only got to win offense or defense after that. Win 2/3 of the game, you win the game, okay? Love special teams. Shane Leckler, cool dude, too. My kicker, I did not take Adam Vinatieri.
What?
I'm going to take the best kicker the past 10 years, okay?
Justin Tucker?
If he was in the same games that Vinatieri has been in, he would have made those kicks and nobody would have been surprised, okay? Justin Tucker, 3-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champ, so he's proven that he can win the Super Bowl. Obviously, kicker, they had a good offense that year. Obviously, Joe Flacco just throwing it up to Anquan Bolden.
Was he on that Vince Young Texas team?
That's a good question.
No, I don't think so.
He's younger.
Yeah, he's younger.
And he age where everybody's missing extra points.
Yes.
This guy's only missed 3 in his entire career.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those were blocked. I don't know if those were just missed because they don't tell you that. Again, 3 missed extra points. He has a 61-yarder in his career, and he's a 91% field goal
Best all
percentage
time,
guy.
right?
I'm not sure if it's best or not, but saying it's pretty damn good. Okay. Did you do punt returns, kick returns?
No, I didn't.
All right. Well,
I can go off the top.
I will say mine here, and I'm sure I'm
Devin
answering for
Hester.
both of us here. Pretty simple. Okay. Devin Hester.
Yeah, that's mine.
He's my punt returner. Listen, everybody. First all time, 14 touchdowns on punts.
I've been kicking.
4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. He's the electric factory. He was the best scoring weapon on some of those Bears teams that even made it to the Super Bowl.
And they had bad offense with Rex Grossman throwing the rock.
Cutler too, right? Bears best scoring weapon, like I said, and then kick off another Bear right now. Super Bowl champ Cordell Patterson.
Really?
Also, well, he's the all-time leader in kickoff returns.
Is he really? I did not know that.
Tied with
not Josh
Cribbs.
Cribbs. Okay.
Tied with him, yeah. 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champ, like I said, and I'm sure, like I said, you picked the same.
Actually, I'm not. For off the top of the dome, I'm going Priest Holmes for the Chiefs.
Okay,
yeah, he was a dynamic athlete. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but from what I remember as a kid, Priest Holmes was pretty damn good. Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay, Darren Sproles also up there for a punt return guy.
Oh, yeah.
But again, Devin Hester, hard to go against.
Yeah,
so that's it for episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next week for episode 3 and our picks. Again, if you want the picks, go to our week 13 picks video. And again, our talk show, always a pleasure. Brandon.
Deuces.
Nick. Peace out.
Fantasy. We got big week of fantasy this week. Week 13, week before the playoffs.